I'll be attempting to scare you with ghost clips in today's video. Yeah, I'll try my best not to add some humor this time around. I hear you're fond of cherry blossoms, but hey, maybe hospitals are more your thing. Gotta wait to see those though, because we're starting the list with this. Number 10. Deschutes found footage. What would you be more disturbed by? Video proof of the paranormal or footage possibly associated with a missing person? Lucky for you, you don't have to decide. He was sleeping in his 6-person tent alone when a noise woke him up. Taking his camera, he begins recording audibly rattled. He surveys his immediate surroundings. Nothing, at least until someone tries to pull the tent top off. It was pretty much then this whole nightmare started. He ran away out into the cold, dark woods. He strived to stay away, tried to keep safe, but by then, it was too late. As he turned around, his camera caught someone or something moving towards him. This was the footage found in Deschutes, Oregon. It is believed that the unknown camper is either Jacob Edris, a man who went missing in 2017 after calling his boss that someone was chasing after him, or Chase Hove, a 27-year-old who went missing in precisely the exact location the video was shot at. Whatever the case, it's eerie seeing someone's last moments before going missing. Number 9. Watching you. Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Did you know there's a hidden tunnel system deep in the woods? Chris from Urbex Hill does, and one day he decided to explore it. Inside, he reaches sections no one has been to before, based on the lack of graffiti on the walls. It may have been exciting and fulfilling to have had the guts to explore the interior fully, but maybe he shouldn't have been so brave. Not long after, inhuman sounds begin to echo off the walls, the source of which seemingly coming from right behind him. He checks. Nothing was there. Still, he presses forward. However, at some fork in the system, 2 pairs of eyes met his as he looked at the passage to the right. It would have been creepy if it had just stared right at him, but no. They looked and quickly hid again, implying something much more disturbing. Curious souls or stalking entities. At the very least, either option could explain the sounds from earlier. Number 8. Ghastly hand. Sakura trees, the focal point of Hanami celebrations. A tree whose flowers symbolize opposing things, birth and death, and beauty and violence. Should it be any wonder then that the paranormal sightings happen even under these short-lived wonders? 2 boys stood under the cherry blossoms, deciding on the pose they ought to do as their third friend, the one behind the camera, recorded them. It seems fun and games at first, with Donkey Kong appearing to be the winner until something catches the third boy's eye. Did you see it? If not, here's a slowdown with visual aid. Yes, a hand wrapped itself around the first boy's thigh, quickly disappearing after being spotted. Shaken, the boy approaches his friends and inspects the area, the other 2 being visibly confused by his actions. At some point, I won't be surprised if he thought he was hallucinating. Unfortunately for him, what he saw may have been real. Japanese TikTok users who saw the video explained that it's believed someone was buried where the sakura trees stand. Number 7. Who was that? It's always a fun time when we manage to buy ourselves pricey things. Pretty sure some of us even puff up our chests in pride. But what happens if something appeared that could ruin your parade? That's what happened to TikTok user Rachel H70. It would be best understood if we let you watch the video first. No, that wasn't a mirror. That was the reflection on her TV. I bet some of you thought it wasn't even a big deal until it moved away a few seconds after it was caught. So what was it? Some dementor that traveled from its reality into ours? The mythical Grim Reaper who wears a cloak that covers his skeletal body? A ghost or a humanoid that was staring at Rachel? Or maybe, perhaps even scarier to most of us, an intruder? Number 6. The Campbell Complex. This entry comes from the Paranormal Nightmare TV series on YouTube, where 3 brothers explore the Campbell Complex in Ohio. So, a bit of backstory before we get to the spooks. The 146 houses were built in 1918 to serve steel factory workers. In 1977, however, on Black Monday, the steel company abruptly shut down its operations, instantly leaving over 5,000 people jobless. Some were left in massive debt and crumbled, sadly taking their own lives in their company housing. Over time, these homes were left to rot. Their episode has several scares, ranging from their names being called out by unknown entities or hearing awkward screams for help. What I'll show you though is what I believe takes the cake. Look at this interview they had with the Youngstown developer. Do you see it? Just over his right shoulder. If you didn't, here's a close-up. Chilling, isn't it? A woman's silhouette in the background moving in strange, unexplainable ways. Could she have been one of those who died of sadness due to Black Monday? Or is she someone who moved in after the place had been left alone for years? You guys decide. Number 5. My house. The house we're about to see was once owned by a man named Suzuki. One day, after an odd lie he told his neighbor, he took his life, choosing an upstairs closet as his final resting place. Now, the current owner of the house claims to experience numerous paranormal activities, going so far as to state that he even saw the ghost of Suzuki. I mean, I believe him. Just look at these clips. First, notice how the bedroom closet keeps banging at night, despite nobody inside. It could even be the closet stated in the house history. Second, watch this bathroom security camera clip, as odd as it is to have one inside. Do you see it? That silhouette through the door as it closed by itself. It appears as though someone was washing up. Finally, the creepiest of them all. In these videos, as soon as the current owner turns off the light, there's a shadow of a man standing for a split second. Just moments ago when the lights were on, we could see nobody was there. Man, that gave me goosebumps. Number 4. Real-life Gonjiam. From years of watching horror movies, I learned that exploring abandoned and haunted places are almost always just bad news. Doubly that if you decide to livestream it for a broad audience, but that's precisely what this guy did. At first, the explorer doesn't seem at all bothered. I mean, if he came out all this way for this, perhaps he wasn't a believer in the first place, at least until the encounter. He didn't notice it, but as he was panning his camera around outside at the sound of a door, he caught his visual of hovering legs. However, his watchers notified him of this, causing him to panic. It's said that a Dutch nurse took her own life in one of the hospital rooms before. Could it have been her? She isn't the only one who appeared though. As he was checking out the other areas of the abandoned hospital, grey silhouettes caught his attention and caused him to run. It wasn't just one time either, it happened thrice. Whatever spirits reside there clearly want to make a point never to disturb them again. Time for today's best pick. What would you do if your dream home happened to house supernatural roommates? One that seems fond of your kid too. Would you stay or go? Find out what this family does next. Number 3. Straight out of a horror movie. Imagine working hard for years to fund your family's dream house, only to have unsettling things happen non-stop. Pretty heartbreaking, no? That's what happened to TikTok user Jay Barari and her wife and child. Barari and her family moved to a 50-acre lot with a 1700s colonial-style Pennsylvania house. Of course, due to the house's age, the couple had it renovated. Unfortunately, strange things have happened since. First, watch this security camera footage and tell me how it makes you feel. Yep, feels like it came straight out of a horror flick. Not only was there the flickering light ghost signal, but there were also moans and a figure in white to boot. Boy, if only that were all they had to put up with. It became pretty evident over time that the ghost was interested in their child. Not only was her guitar being toyed with, but one night, the kid even seemed to have gotten into a trance. Look at this clip. Pretty spooky, huh? I hope they figure out the situation soon because I'd hate for anything to happen to them. Number 2. Cries from the unknown. Look, I know that many of these entries are from abandoned places that are ghost hotspots, but what if the building recently has someone coming in and out? Like this dude's friend who decided to renovate this 10-year-old house. Surely the paranormal activity wouldn't be that bad, right? Right? Nope. We follow the tile installer as he investigates a series of sounds that have caught his attention in this video. Have you guessed what sound it was? If you figured a cry, you're right. I don't think anybody wants to hear a child be potentially hurt. Personally though, instead of inspecting and looking around, I probably would have finished my work as soon as possible and dipped out of there. Sorry, I just don't think I'm that selfless. Anyway, he finds where the crying is coming from at some point. A room in the basement. Nobody, especially a child, was there despite the sound being stronger than ever. If it wasn't creepy enough, a loud bang could be heard as he left to go into another room to take a breather.
Wait, no mames. No mames.
The installer left quickly after that. Don't worry, bud, you're still way braver than me. Number 1. Who are you? Last but certainly not least, this video comes from Japan. This clip takes place in an old school building that's under renovation. If you watch lots of anime or Asian horror, you know where this is going. Nowhere good. Allegedly, this building is haunted, which should be a big warning sign for people not to go there, but some like to live on the edge. Seriously though, this one even has tape around the perimeter that says not to enter. Did these two friends heed the warning? No. Did they regret it? Oh yes. At first, they don't seem that bothered, going further and further inside. They even joke that the open door means that they're welcome inside. Sure, if you want to be ghost playthings, that is. Unfortunately for them, the lecture hall they entered on the building's second floor happened to be occupied. Not by a person, of course. While examining the items inside, an armless spectre walked towards them. This sight sent them screaming bloody murder and bum rushing out of there. That's a lesson they're bound never to forget.